and welcome to the live about house hacking by the room. Nicole should be hopping on shortly, so I'm just going to be waiting for her. This is going to be a really good one because this one hits close to home with me since I am currently house hacking my personal residence. Oh, and here she is. All right, I'm going to be adding on Nicole. Let me try. I tried sending you an invite, Nicole. I thought I accepted yours. I don't know what happened. Did it work? Let's see here. Accept. All right. Come. Accept. See, I tried accepting it. Let me try. Okay, I sent another invite. Let me see. Let me know if you're able to accept it, Nicole. Oh, weird. It says you're unable to join. I don't know if you can do it from your computer. Let's try it one more time. It said you were unable to join. Maybe try from your phone. Anyone know? Anyone know if she can join from her computer? I haven't tried it on the computer yet. Only from my phone. Hang tight, you guys. Oh, hey, Nick. Hey, Thea. Hey, Teresa. All right, hopefully we can get this figured out. I keep pressing accept, Nicole. Still not working. Yeah, it says you're unable to join. Are you trying from your phone?
I did it.
Hey,
I'm in.
there we go.
Gosh, the first like 5 minutes of this is going to be so technical, but now everyone can see that you don't have to be good at technology to be able to do this. Let me turn lights on real quick. I thought that it would help, but it's really dark. One sec. Okay. Oh goodness, thanks for your patience. I don't ever do lives. I've never done one on my own. I think I've joined like maybe one other person, so excited to do this today.
I know. I just recently started doing them more and more often because you'll see today.
Yeah.
They're so fun and they're just such a great way to just have a really good conversation. Because I feel like at the meetup that I saw you at, I didn't really get to talk to you that much, and plus it was very
Yeah.
very loud. So when we did talk, I was like, what?
As meetups are. So I'm balancing this on top of like literally on top of my laptop screen. I wish I had my phone to take a picture. So if it falls or anything crazy, we'll just roll with it.
No problem. Yeah, it's weird that it wouldn't let you do it from your computer.
I know I have my webcam set up. I was like my double monitors. I was like, I'm gonna look so technical, so good, but here I am doing my best.
We made it. It's okay. We got you on here. This is good. Well, thanks for willing to come live with me, and I'm really excited about this topic, especially because I want to hear more about you and your six roommates. So, does this include? Is it six total of you, or just six roommates plus?
Yeah, there's eight.
So there's 12.
Yeah, there's 8 of us total.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot of us, and it sounds completely crazy. It's not nearly as crazy like in person as it sounds on paper. It's a big house, so we all, we do have a lot of space, but yeah, it's a lot of people in a, sorry, I'm trying to lift my chair, in a combined space. So yeah, six roommates plus my husband and myself.
Wow. And how big of a space you said you live in?
Square feet. Technically it's 5 bedrooms with a bonus room that we use as like a 6th bedroom. So part of the reason there's so many people too is like obviously my husband and myself are a couple, and then we have one other couple that lives with us. So I mean that's 4 people right there, and then there's 4 other singles that we have.
Okay. 4 other singles. And how did you find these
Yeah,
roommates?
so we've gone through actually quite a few. We've been doing this for 3 years now. November 2020 is when we bought our house. So we've had it for, yeah, over 3 years. We started with people that we knew. So the couple is the same couple that we have lived with since the very beginning. They moved in with us. We've actually never spent a day in the house by ourselves. We literally shared a U-Haul with this other couple. So they've lived there for exactly as long as we have.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we had the house for about a year and a half, or I'm sorry, about a month and a half before we moved in, just making updates and like renovating the bathroom and stuff like that. So we found the couple we knew beforehand, and then there were two other single people that moved in that I knew from like my past work. And then after that, we just started filling in the gaps with people that we met through like Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, or roomies.com is how I sourced the other people. So they were strangers to me until they moved in.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And did you feel like there was a big shift between when you only had roommates who were people you knew versus people you didn't
Not
know?
a big shift because it became like a combination of the two. It's really nice starting with people that you don't know because
Yeah.
it's easier just to set your precedents. Like obviously the couple that still lives with us, they've lived with us the whole time. So like, they know the routine, but it can be difficult to be like, hey, I was your coworker and now I'm your landlord. They always say not to like rent out to your friends. I feel like that's what everyone says. And I was like, those people can't rent out to their friends, but I can rent out to my friends. And that's not the case. It didn't go well for those two other people. We ended on really bad terms with both of them, unfortunately. So yeah, it sucked. So I lost people I could have still been okay with, unfortunately. And it's not like a roommate where they'll just go away. Like you do lose someone that you knew before. So that really sucked. But now it's, yeah, just the couple that we knew before, and then four other people that I've met that I've just organically sourced. And then we've had turnover. So it's been mostly now people that I didn't know before this.
Okay. And the people that you don't know, you said there is a high turnover rate, or there's
I
not?
don't know if I'd call it high. The shortest anyone's ever been there is a year. We actually have a girl moving out right now that will move out on March 1st. So I'm actually actively finding another roommate. So everything I talk about, like I preach, like I'm meeting with her tomorrow at 6:30 or doing like a Google like interview. So I'm pretty constantly in it. So the shortest we've ever had someone is 1 year, which the girl moving out has been there for 1 year. And then we've had one other girl that was there for a year. Otherwise, a year and a half to 2 years is about the average. And then I guess the other two people that I knew before.
I mean, that's really good.
The other two people I knew before were there for shorter, but that's because things weren't on good terms. But other than that, yeah, about a year and a half to 2 years is average.
Okay. And and do you like renew leases like once a year? And when you do you raise prices at all?
So we've had leases. We start with 6 months because it's long enough that I feel like someone's committed to us, but not too long that if like it just wasn't working out in the first 6 months, we could ask them to leave. And then after 6 months, we offer people 6, 9, or 12 months. And now we're starting to do like a tiered. We hadn't raised rents in a long time, but our utilities are going up a ton. I don't know if they are for you too or not. But utilities are getting a lot more expensive, and just like the cost of everything. Because we also pay for like cleaning supplies, paper towels, toilet paper, cleaners, landscapers. Like we pay for all of that. And the cost is going up for everything. So like it's definitely getting a lot tighter. So we're starting to raise rents a little bit, but we do it based off the tiered system. So if you re-sign for 1 year, you're going to pay the least amount of money. And we only raise it like 10 to 25 bucks. Not a whole lot. I mean, it can be a little more if that person hasn't gotten a raise before, but we try to tier it. So if they choose the longer lease, then they get the lowest amount of raise.
Okay. Makes sense. And you said, okay, for the tiers. And then, okay, so I'm excited to get into the numbers, but we'll do that last because I want to see, I feel like it's going to help people see just how much renting by themselves. But before we do, so what would you recommend people put in their leases when they're signing people they don't know? Like what are things you wish you put in yours from the beginning?
So not
I guess.
necessarily adding anything. Our lease was actually pretty airtight. We use avail.co to write our leases. We just use a California specific, like long-term lease, and then we go in and add clauses that are specific to room rentals or rules. I think you can either add clauses or rules, but that one's like, this bed, or we call them units, like this unit 1, unit 2, like that's, bedroom 1, bedroom 2. This bedroom is assigned to the top floor bathroom and only the top floor bathroom because, bedrooms 3 and 4 have the downstairs bathroom. So we clarify which bathroom to use, where to park. So like they can't park in the driveway because that's where we park. We make sure they know that they can only park on the street. Things about like not having animals, that kind of stuff, like dishes need to be done, things like that. So we just kind of added in like house rules into the lease. But we didn't necessarily I don't think we missed anything. Like we haven't really had like legal issues or anything like that. But it is important to a lot of that just comes with verbal clarification with people, but it is nice to have it in the lease in case someone's like, oh, I didn't know I couldn't park in the garage. And you're like, no, it does say in the lease, and we talked about it. So you should always have it written down somewhere. Don't just go off of good faith. Even if it's someone that you think seems really cool, you always want it written down.
Yeah. 100%. And I know because when I got really lucky because my first two roommates, one is a family member and another one is a friend. And so I just Googled long-term lease in California. And I just did that. I was like, okay. And I didn't have anything about overnight guests. I wish I had but luckily because they're so flexible and because we had a kind of relationship going into this when they moved in. But then there's a total of 4 of us. So yeah, them two, me and my boyfriend. But they were been flexible. So when we started talking about overnight guests, when that started coming into play, because they were, I don't know why I didn't think of this, but we were able to kind of figure out, we were able to sit down, have a team meeting or a house meeting and figure out, okay, what is everyone okay with? Because we need to be respectful of each other, but I get people want to live their lives. So I wish I'd put an overnight guest rule. I wish I did the parking. I didn't do the parking, but at least for the first one. For the second one, I told her, just street parking. But for the first one, I didn't. So we just go back and forth between parking in the driveway, which is I pick my battles.
Yeah,
it's fine.
that's the thing is if you set these expectations up front, people are like, I park on the street, it's not a big deal. But if halfway through you're like, oh, you can't park in the driveway anymore, and now you're the meanest person that's ever existed. Whereas if it was just up front before, it's it's not a big deal. So setting up expectations. Someone just said you can add addendums at any time. You probably just have to get a new signature from them. But it's not even about adding it. It's about the fact that now this is a conversation. Now I have to have a parking conversation. No one likes to have I manage our house, so I have to have the tough conversations if they have to be had. I hate it. I don't want to have the tough conversations. I don't want to do it. I know they don't want to be talked to. They don't want to be scolded. So I don't want to deal with any of it. So just getting as much as you can in upfront, like you're talking about, is totally the way to go.
Yeah. And quiet time for common areas too, and even just because my bedrooms are pretty small, and so it's even quiet times in the bedroom. If you want to put on headphones and stuff, that's fine, or just keep the volume to a certain number, because rooms are so close together. When one person's TV is on, you can hear it in the other room. So it's just we had to come up with a quiet time because I didn't put that in the lease either.
Yeah, we definitely. I realized that because it's a lot of people and it's really not a loud group of people, but everyone's bedroom is above some part of the common space. So someone's bed's above the kitchen, someone's bed is above the TV, someone's bed is above the garage. Everyone is a little inconvenienced by something. So we do have to be you do have to be aware of other people, which if you just find people who have either grown up in houses with a lot of siblings or find people who grew up with a lot of, or not grew up, but went to college with a lot of roommates or something like that, those people tend to be pretty respectful and also know what comes with having roommates.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know when we originally agreed, to clean out your dishes as you go, but then it's busy and the dishes, pile up. And then you have to have that conversation. Okay, guys, because we have a maid service or house cleaning service, and they come every other week, and they're great. But I usually like to have the sink cleared
Same.
out by the time
Yep.
they get there, because then at least if they like gather any dirty dishes, they can just put it in the dishwasher. So I like to make sure the dishwasher is
Yeah.
empty and the sink is empty. Or at least there's dirty
Same.
dishes in the dishwasher so they can just add it in. Plus, I like them to deep scrub the sink because the sink can get like stains on
Yes.
it, but when they come, it's like perfectly white again. I'm like, what did you do to
That's
it?
literally exactly, yeah, same. I always want to make sure that the dishes are in the dishwasher because they won't necessarily clean the sink the same way they would if it wasn't. So
Yeah.
that's definitely difficult when we're gone because like I mean everyone helps with the dishes, but with that many people, it only takes we run the dishwasher 2, sometimes 3 times a day.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's not somebody staying on top of it right before the cleaners, then it doesn't always get done. So there's like little things like that, but you
Yeah.
just like you said, you pick and choose your battles. Like, are you gonna make a
Yeah.
big fit about that? I mean, overall, everybody's really clean and like organized. We just try to make sure that people don't like pile their stuff in the common spaces. So like the kitchen, the living rooms, like those have, you know, a certain set of blankets, like certain appliances that stay on the counter. If you want to add something new, it should probably be a discussion because like I hate a crowded counter. Like we had a girl move in that uses an air fryer and she was walking from the garage to the kitchen every day with her air fryer and I was like, you can leave it like if you want to leave it on the counter, you can. You just have to know that other people will use it too. And she was like, yeah, that's like I would love to. I just didn't want to leave it on there. And that's like perfect. So if someone wants
Yeah.
to do something like that, that's fine. But like we don't want like yeah, all of the people's personal stuff in the common spaces.
Yeah. And you know what I didn't realize too is that mail can pile up. You need a specific place for
We
mail.
have a mail organizer.
Oh,
So
you do?
we used to have like
Good.
this half wall because our house was 90s. So like we would just stack stuff on it that was people's, but
Mm-hmm.
we took that out. And then I was like, what do we do with the mail? And I was like, duh, we just buy a mail holder. So on Wayfair, they happened to have one that was like 6 slots, which we have 6
Oh,
bedrooms. So it's
yeah.
perfect. I just put everyone's name in it. And then it's on the back side. So when you walk into my house, it's on the back side of the first wall. So it's not like the first thing you see. But that's where everyone checks if they want their mail. And then everyone for like Amazon packages, there's like one table it goes on and it usually gets picked up within a day or two. But yeah, you
Yeah.
do need someone for mail. Otherwise, people like, I don't look through my bills. If it was sitting on a table, I
Right.
wouldn't grab it either. So you need somewhere that like doesn't look disgusting, that won't bother you.
Yeah.
You can just put stuff.
Yeah. We have like I had to buy this little, kind of envelope holder almost, but it's on top of our island. But because not everyone checks it consistently, it fills up really
Yes.
quickly. So I'm like, okay, time to get
Yeah,
separate ones.
separate ones, exactly. Yeah, because you can't. That's the thing is we do need to separate stuff out like as much as possible. So we do that with like because we have to have 2 refrigerators because of the amount of people we
Yeah.
have. So we used to just be a free for all, like everyone just shared the space in the fridge. And my husband for the longest time was like, we really need to like label the shelves because sometimes someone's using someone else's creamer and they're annoyed, or you forget that you had 3 packs of cheese and now it's stuck in the back because no one saw it. And I resisted for a while. I don't know why, but we finally did it. And now like everybody has one shelf and then one drawer, and we have a couple shared drawers that are like meat and cheese or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But that's you have to do that. Otherwise people forget that they bought or that they have the clean, and then they're also like reassured that no one else is touching their stuff.
Yeah. And especially freezer space. So I don't know if you have that problem, but we have like our freezer is always full, and I'm like,
Yeah,
whose stuff is
the freezer is the same
this?
thing. We labeled it. So it's
Okay.
harder because like the physical labels don't stick because of the freezer. So I label the
Yeah.
inside of the fridge, and then the freezer we did it just to almost like a placeholder. Like, look, this is room 2. Like this is your shelf. But everyone just once you tell them, like people will use that space, and then we usually have like there's one weird shelf that's left over, so we'll have like an up for grabs space. But like sometimes we
Yeah.
gotta anything that's up for grabs ends up turning into like a catch-all. Like everyone just puts everything there. So the more separated the spaces you can be, the better like it is that people don't just leave stuff. Because with that many roommates, you don't know whose it is.
Yeah.
It's not like oh, I'll just ask Amy if this is hers. Like it could be anybody. It's like I can't just ask her. I have to talk to 6 people to figure out whose old broccoli this is.
Yeah. Exactly. And and you said you guys don't allow pets?
Well, we don't allow pets anymore. So we have 2 dogs. And then the couple that moved in has 2 cats. So it's 8 people and 4 animals. And then actually for a little bit, it was 8 people, a kid, 3 dogs, and 3 cats. when we
Wow.
first, yeah, it was too much. But yeah, we have 2 dogs and 2 cats at the house, and so we don't allow any more animals. And I would suggest anyone who does this to not allow animals. If you have animals, that's fine, you just put it in your posting. We include a picture of our dogs. We make sure that people that are coming in not just tolerate dogs, but like dogs, because my dogs are going to like you. So I
Yeah.
need to make sure that if you sit on the couch and they sit next to you, that you're going to pet my dog. Like, I don't want to live with people that don't want to pet my dog. And they probably don't want to live with my dogs because they get hair and everything. So
Yeah.
we don't allow in any more animals. And I would strongly suggest anyone that does this to not allow animals. Even if someone's like, my cat's so quiet, it just stays in my room. Maybe it does, but it's probably going to smell bad. It's going to leave hair. What if it starts scratching? Like, it's just not worth it. And then what if you can't have anyone else in the house that's allergic to cats because of that? Like,
Right.
if you want animals, that's fine. You can have animals, but don't allow anybody else to have animals. Like, we won't have any animals after the cats move out. These definitely the only other animals that'll ever live with us.
Yeah, something I wish I put in place too is like if you do have dogs, we have 2 dogs here. One's mine, one is my roommate's, and I just wish I put in when they should pick up dog poop. Like, do they need to pick it up every time, or at least like twice a week, 3 times a week? Because our
Yeah.
gardener started complaining, and I'm just like, and now I have to like constantly text once a week, remind them the day before, make sure you go pick up all the poop. And I'm like, I feel like this is
Yeah.
one thing I don't want to
Yes.
do, but I have to do it because this is
Yeah.
not something we agreed upon, ahead of time. But it's, pick your battles and it's fine. I'll deal with it for now.
Yeah, that was something that we had when the dog, because there was another dog that lived with us. At the time, our yard was a total wreck, and like we just didn't care about it. So we would as a group go out and like do this like massive intensive poop run, and there would be so much poop, and I was like, ew, this is so gross. Like, we just wouldn't even go outside. But then we paid to get turf in, and we like paid to get our like everything redone. And at that point I was like, okay, we all kind of need to start helping. And then shortly, like, he moved out pretty soon after that, so it's just us. So we do poop runs as much as possible. I know poop talk's probably really gross for people that are on here, but if you have a dog, you get it. Like, they poop a lot and they're gross and it's annoying. And if you have other people, they're not, people just don't, people will pick up after themselves, but you do have to you have to help encourage it for sure.
Yes, encouragement is
Yes.
needed. And how often do you guys have
Every
your
2
house
weeks.
cleaning service come? Every
Yeah,
Tuesday.
every other
Okay.
Tuesday, 8:45 every morning, and like everybody knows which bathroom they start in. Like, so we do want to get some type of like automatic text that send out the day before would be nice. That way people just kind of like are reminded in case someone's like, oh shoot, I thought I could take a shower at this time or something like that, or to help like clean up the dishes. So it would be nice to get on some type of automatic timer. But right now we're usually home for it, and if we're not, it's like everyone is pretty like used to it, and that our cleaners just have a code to our door so they can walk in if they want.
Okay, that's nice. So I don't have a code on my door yet, but I'm planning on getting one because I just have to always make sure someone's home when the house cleaners are coming, because their time too. I wish they came at the same time every day, every Monday,
don't?
but they just no, they let me know the day before what time they're gonna be there.
Oh, that's
and that's the things. But it's my first time ever like having a house cleaning service, so
no,
it's not normal.
it's not. They should, yeah, like my cleaners come every other Tuesday at 8:45 a.m. Yeah.
Okay. And they'll give me like a time frame. They'll say sometimes between 10 and 10:30, and not like a specific time. And sometimes they'll be there at like 11 or 11:30.
Yeah. If you want my
10:30,
housekeepers, let me know, because they show up at the same time. Because that makes a big difference. Like, that's how, because people need routine, and like that's how people know when to like take care of stuff. Otherwise it can be really annoying. So if you want different housekeepers, or to tell your housekeepers that they need to like stick to a schedule. Mine have never been late. They're only ever early.
Really?
Yeah, they're
Okay.
I always recommend.
I mean, I'll try to communicate
Yeah,
more, and then
I always recommend them to
out
my
to you.
buyers and sellers. I love them. They bring me enchiladas at Christmas time.
And how are these like only 2, or is it like a team that comes?
It's the main. The mom doesn't really speak English, so I communicate mostly with her daughter. But it's the mom, and then either she has one person that usually comes with her. Sometimes she'll bring like a person she's training or something like that. But she's like always there. So I don't think she's ever. I think one time they couldn't come one Tuesday because they were on vacation, but they came like the other Tuesday instead, and that was it.
Oh, so it's like the same people
Yeah,
every time.
same people every time. Yeah, so it's like, it's not, I guess I mean, it is their business, but it's not like a Molly Mays or something. We did get like Molly Mays quotes and those kind of quotes, but they were really expensive.
Okay. Yeah, my house is 1570 square feet, and we pay around like what $130
Okay.
every other week.
Our house is 3,000 square feet. We pay 180,
Oh,
which I think is actually on the cheap end. If we were to get the quote, because we've been using them for 3 years, if we were to get it today, I bet it'd be like 220,
yeah,
or maybe a little bit more. We've given them a couple raises, and we always do like Christmas bonuses and stuff like that. Like we love our cleaners.
yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I definitely will try
Yeah.
communicating more, and because it's different people when like that
Yeah.
come for with me. It's like about like 3 or 4 different groups, and I never know which group I'm
Yeah,
gonna
so
get.
it's always the same. It's always the same woman, and then like she
Oh,
usually
that's
has the
nice.
same partner. She might have like one other person, but it's like always her. So it's nice having the same person, and like they know what your house is going to look like. They know what to expect.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, I mean they do a great job. I mean everything is beautiful
Yeah,
afterwards. I guess that's why I really, made a big huge deal of it. But I'll definitely try to work on my communication
yeah. Oh,
there.
not your communication, their communication.
Yeah. That's true. And let me see, because I have a list of questions for you. And do you ever have to talk to anyone about length of showers?
No, there's a few things that my husband and I just refuse to even consider. And like one of them is like length of showers. One is if people leave lights on. One is like if someone's already watching a TV show and someone else wants to watch a different TV show, it's like too bad, go to your room. Like there's a couple things we give just a lot of leniency on because I'm like, it's whatever. Like we pay the bills.
Yeah.
It is what it is. So no, we don't personally. I mean, I know some people do take long showers, but it's whatever. I take a long shower, so I don't care.
Yeah. I had one roommate who took like over an
Well,
hour like
that's
shower.
crazy. That's
Like, and I kind of had to talk to them. I was like,
yeah.
so can we just keep
That,
it like 30 minutes or 45 at least? Because like they share a
yes.
shower with the other roommate,
That's
And I'm like,
that's different. Yeah. And like sometimes if people like during the summer, some people like will leave their windows open all day and I'm like I've definitely sent out a text that was like, "Hey, I ain't paying to heat the neighborhood here. Let's keep like I know I sound like an old dad here, but it is expensive. Our AC bill during the summer like it's like our electrical bill can get up to like $800
oh
because
my
it's
gosh, yeah. Do you guys have PG&E?
we don't. We have Roseville Electric, so it's cheaper
Okay.
than PG&E, but it's a 3,000 square foot house and we have two utilities. Or, I'm sorry, two
Wow.
units. So it's just expensive. And we don't give like that's another thing, like the thermostat. Some people will ask me about that, like how do you control who touches the thermostat? Like we don't have rules around it. If you want to adjust the thermostat, you're welcome to. Most people don't. I feel like we were all just kind of raised by the dad that's like, don't touch the thermostat. And so like, and we keep it at a comfortable temperature. Like we keep it during the summer. I think the hottest we'll let it get to is like maybe 72, 74. And then during the
Okay.
winter, the heat will turn on at like 69 or 70 at night.
Mhm.
And you can have a space heater if you want. Like most of the rooms have fans in them. So if someone really needed to adjust the thermostat, they're totally welcome to. We don't have this like you can't touch the thermostat rule. I've even told people I've seen them like downstairs like bundled up with like beanies and jackets. And I'm like, you can like turn on the you can turn on the shot like the heat if you want. Sorry, I saw
Yeah.
someone saying shower. And they're like, oh sorry, just like don't touch it. And I was like, whatever's best for you.
Yeah. Exactly. Like if you're really cold,
Yeah.
turn on the heater. That's the one thing that is not included with my roommates is the PG&E bill. So we split that every month, and it's just because it
Yeah.
fluctuates so much. And I'm so happy that I knew that going in because it's like if you try to, because our utility bill is around like
Yeah.
$700, like PG&E, and I'm like, this is a 1570 square foot house. Like
Yeah.
why?
The
It's insane. And
PG&E,
I feel like even when we don't
no,
even use it a lot, it's still
that's
that high.
insane. For anyone that doesn't know, Roseville Electric versus PG&E is like a third of the price. So when you're looking at homes to buy, that's actually something to take into consideration. If you're looking at Rockland versus Roseville and the house in Rockland is like less expensive, you will literally pay more in utilities in Rockland than you will in Roseville by like hundreds of dollars. Yeah, that's right. You're in Rockland. So like yeah, it's crazy. But we don't really try to control any of that stuff. Plus, with the amount of roommates we have, we talked about like splitting up utilities, but then it's like, well, what if someone's gone for a month and Sally used way more? It's just like for us, it doesn't work. 'Cause there's so many people, so we just make it flat and include it. So yeah, there's some months where I'm like, if you guys knew how much this bill was, like,
Right, I know. Definitely though, if like because my goal is like when we move out, I'm still gonna
yeah,
rent out the rooms. So I'm in the process of building the AD or getting the ADU built. hopefully within the next like 6 months, and then renting that as a
Mm-hmm.
midterm rental. And then when I move out, we'll rent
Yeah.
out the main bedroom, all of it rented. That's the only way we can
Yep.
cash flow on the property now.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty great way to like, I feel like, to test out the house too before you move out, and use it as like kind of like a co-living if you want to keep the
Yeah.
house versus like sell it or do like a 1031 exchange. But that was, I feel like I've learned a lot, and now I'm gonna feel more confident when I move out and continue the
Totally.
co-living with our, I guess not co-living with me, but co-living with just renting out the rooms
Yes.
versus just having a long-term tenant. So I feel more confident that I've got out all the little
the bugs. Yeah. No, that's
yeah.
totally. That's our plan too, is to rent out the main bedroom when we move out, which you kind of have to pick a person to be like, I feel like the house captain. Because even if everyone's pretty responsible, like there needs to be somebody that like does make sure that things are going correctly. So eventually when we move out, like we will find someone to be, obviously we'll ask them if they want to be like the house captain, and then either pay them or give them a discount off their rent or whatever it is. And like that person is solely in charge of making sure the trash cans go out. Like they can ask other people, but like ultimately it's up to them that happens. Just like with us, it's their job to let us know if someone's being the worst roommate in the world or whatever the situation is, because you do need someone that kind of keeps control of that.
Yeah. Teresa, so yes, actually I found a general contractor, and then I'm also getting quotes right now from different architects to get designs going. So
I was gonna say, I just met a guy that does ADU building. It sounds like you already have someone though.
Oh yeah, so it's actually my cousin. He's a general contractor and has his own business. I was gonna go through Anchor Tiny Homes, but he's gonna be able to save me a lot of money if I go through him, because he's gonna do everything, and he's like on the newer side of building ADUs, but has a very successful business. He's in Oregon, so he's gonna be coming down to California.
Who?
My
cousin?
It's last name Wyrick.
Okay. I'm from Oregon, so I'm just I just always think I'm gonna know somebody from Oregon.
Oh. The small town.
I mean, I'm from Salem, like Portland area, so I don't know if that's anywhere close to where. Just anytime I hear Oregon, I'm like, maybe I know them.
I do not know Oregon, so I could not tell you where they live. That's funny. But you said you have an ADU guy?
A guy, recently, that does like remodels and ADUs. He worked for a builder for like over 20 years, and he just recently went out on his own.
Oh, okay. And I'm sorry, you broke out for that first part. You said how did you?
Oh, I met him through I was getting coffee with a client at a place in Roseville, and then a lender friend of mine was there meeting with the ADU builder guy, and so after I met with my client, he was like, come over and like meet this guy. So then I got a chance to meet him too.
Yeah. Okay, that's awesome. And he's now on his own?
He does his own thing now. He owns his own business. So I haven't worked with him. I don't know anyone who has, but he has 20 plus years experience in it, and I'm sure he has like testimonials or people I could reach out to. But I would love to like build an ADU ourselves too. So it's definitely the dream.
And it's like, this is definitely going to be more work going through just a general contractor, someone I know, because it's rather than going through a place like Anchor Tiny Homes, because they're like a one-stop shop, right? They include everything. But they were quoting me around like 175,000 for 490 square feet, and that was not including utility connections, so it was just another 15 to 30 grand. So probably be close to like just under 200 grand. And my general contractor, my cousin, he said he quoted me around 100 to 110,000. So I'm like, well, we're gonna try this. It could end up being the same. I could lose it.
I was gonna say, just because he quoted you 110 doesn't mean that's how much it'll cost. So we'll see. I'll be interested to hear about that.
I know. But I feel like you gotta try it at least once. So that way, when I buy my third house, I plan on doing this again and building an ADU and renting out the rooms on the third house. Then I'll know, okay, is it worth it to go through a general contractor and do a lot, like more of the work and more of the hands-on, or should I just go with someone like Anchor Tiny Homes and let it be just more?
Have to let us know what your experience is. I'll definitely am interested in that.
I will be documenting.
Good.
I swear, every time something new comes on, I always get this pit in my stomach. I'm like, I feel like I'm gonna be sick, but I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be sick, but this is a good feeling. This is good because I'm outside of my comfort zone. I'm like calling like Placer County, like City of Rockland, trying to get like figure out what permits they need.
I know it's quite the process, but you'll be better for it.
Yeah, I'm learning a lot. But okay, so is there anything else you wanted to add for any do or don'ts before we get into the numbers part?
Do's just kind of the same. I made some notes earlier. The same as like what I was saying, like how you want to label like the fridge. You want to do the same thing with the pantry. You like give everyone a shelf, put their name on it. Like it's not only good for organization, and if that person moves out, you just know to clear that whole shelf and you can start again. But it also gives that person a sense of like, this is my shelf. No one's going to touch it. I can put whatever I want on here. If I have a special cutting board I don't want anyone to use, I can put it on my pantry shelf and no one will use it. Like it just gives someone like a space that they feel like safe in. So definitely labels. And the same with like pots, pans, plates. Like we provide all that stuff. And so we label it all so people know where to like put it back at. And just organization. You have to like try to keep all your spatulas in the same spot. Like everything kind of needs a home because it's not like your house, you know, I mean, it is your house, but it's not your house where it's just you and your boyfriend and you guys like kind of know where the stuff goes or where to find it in the weird spot. Like things have to be laid out really clearly, which is kind of the same if you do any short-term rental like design at all. Like in the kitchen, everything needs a home. It needs to be really clear where things go. So those two things are pretty similar.
100%. And I feel like you definitely need two fridges. If you're gonna be, there's gonna be a total of 4 of you, definitely need 2 fridges.
Yeah, exactly. There's 5 of us in one fridge because it's the, you know, couples, me, and then one single, and then the couples, and then there's 3 people in the other fridge. And like we could use a third fridge, which we actually have a third fridge, but I'm not gonna give that's too much. And the electricity, so
I know. Have you ever thought about getting solar or
no, not at this time. I don't think it like makes sense for us right now, but yeah.
Yeah. I know. I've looked into the quotes, but I keep hearing different things. So I just
Yeah, no, not yeah. I know there's probably a solar person that's gonna watch us and be like, I can sell you solar, but no, it's not for us this time.
I get at least one door knock.
Oh, for real? Yeah. Someone will sell it to you if you want it.
It's out there if I need it. Okay, well, for numbers, did you want to share what in the past year about how much your roommates have made a difference and like how much you put towards like your mortgage and things like
Yeah,
that?
so so our mortgage is about 3,000, and then 3,000 a month, and then we pay all the utilities and the cleaner and the landscaper. All of that is, watch, my husband's gonna be like, you said that wrong. I know it's over 1,000. It's like maybe 1,200 or 13. Actually, might even be more than that now. Now my So monthly, we are paying about 4,400 or so. And then we make about 4,650 a month in rent between all the bedrooms while living there. So it does cover the entirety of the mortgage as well as all of the utilities. We've never been out of pocket since we've had the house. So when we bought it 3 years ago, we were able to use, because we had saved up all of our money to get the house in the first place. Like we shared an apartment with a roommate, like my husband rented out his car. We didn't go out. We saved over 50% of our income to buy the house. And then when we got the house, we weren't paying a mortgage, obviously, with all the roommates. And so with the money we saved in the first year, we were able to buy our short-term rental the first year. And then we've just been able to save all the money since then, which allowed myself to be a full-time real estate agent. And then my husband went full-time entrepreneur back in July. So it's a combination, obviously, between working and saving our own money, but also not having to pay like a housing expense. And that's not to say that CapEx hasn't like overseeded that, obviously, because we've had to pay for like, you know how it is, like turf redone, and like we need to do stuff with our trees. All of our trees have fallen down. That's like $6,000 in itself. Like there's things like that, but every house is going to have maintenance items, so we just take care of those. But yeah, right now we cash flow a couple $100. And if we moved out, we would cash flow like $1,300 or so.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh, well, my numbers are not as good as those, but
we have a lot of bedrooms. That's when we first looked, my husband's the numbers person, but when we were first looking, he basically just wanted as big of a house as we could possibly buy with the money that we had. So we purchased the house for $535,000, which you can get a 3-bedroom for that much, and you're not gonna get as much rent. So it was the fact that we decided to rent out all of the bedrooms that's so aggressive.
Yeah. Wow. So for me, so what one room is renting for 800, another 850. These are definitely under market value because like I
Yeah.
knew them, so I wanted to give them a little bit of a better deal, which to me that was worth it, especially with all the
But then they
kinks that I
also
worked out along
pay
the way.
utilities on top of that, right?
Yes, so they also pitch in for PG&E, which, like I said, between like when it's like $700, that's an extra $175
That's,
each.
you don't think that's like market rent? I find that bedrooms go anywhere between, for a not private bedroom, like 850 to 950 depending on the house, and then for a private bedroom up to like 12 or 1300. So I see for like a
Okay,
not private bedroom, I'd say that that's actually like pretty
pretty
in
close.
line. Yeah.
Okay.
Your electric bill so much. That's like what's the killer. Because you're right,
Yeah,
what they're
exactly.
paying monthly is technically under, but then with what
Yeah,
they contribute,
with the
yeah,
PG,
with what they
it's a lot
contribute to the
better.
utilities, it's about average. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's okay with me because it's like if I guess I could have just included that, but then prepare myself, but I just feel more comfortable just doing it by the month and they're okay with it. So maybe when I move out, I'll just set it and just like, I guess, I don't know, I'll do
Well,
that,
at that
but I
point,
don't know.
you'll
But
have time of averages. You can look back at how much it's been, and then incorporate, and think about it's probably going to go up this much, or and just include general raises as you go through it. Because that's what I feel like people don't understand. Like, especially for us, not that we've had anyone complaining, because we really don't raise rents very much, but like utilities are a lot, and they
mm,
don't stop going up at all, and neither does like the toilet paper we buy or the paper towels we buy or any of that stuff. Like all that stuff continues to get more expensive.
yeah. And also for like things like that, like the toilet paper, laundry detergent, and paper towels, like we take
Oh yeah.
turns buying that
See,
too. That
we
helps.
pay for it all, but that again, could it be just the sheer amount of people we have, and everybody shares a bathroom, and so I remember my husband and I share one just ourselves, but like the problem with like toilet paper is that the most responsible person ends up buying it every time, and then the other people end up mooching off the most responsible person, and then the most responsible person doesn't want to live with you anymore because the other
Right.
people are taking from them. So we just pay for all of that every time. But yeah, all of that like adds up. We probably spend $50 on just like paper products every month, not including like cleaning supplies or anything else.
Oh my gosh. And have you ever like just thought about letting everyone buy their own and just putting like specific areas in the garage where they can
No,
keep
it's
it or
just
no?
that's like even more to manage for us. It's just easier for us to just pay for it because there's already like people, if they need to put stuff in the, like right now we need to go through all of our garage and cupboards because there's kind of just
Mhm.
like a mishmash of a bunch of people's stuff in there, including us. Like we have way too much junk, and we both, my husband and I, are getting itchy. We just want to clear everything out, figure out what we actually need, and give everyone like a little bit of designated space. So no, because the other thing about toilet paper is like, even if you're buying your own, you're still sharing a roll. Like, what? You're going to get your own toilet paper out from your cupboard
Oh
every
yeah,
time you
that's
want to
true.
go pee. Like, we obviously people share a space. Like, it is going to be a shared space, but I don't want it to feel like a hostel. I
Yeah.
want it to feel like you just use the toilet paper you need. If you need to take a paper towel roll to your room to clean something, you can do that. Like, we just try to like act on good faith, and most people return that.
That makes sense. Okay, I think for me it was I wasn't
Yeah.
thinking that they were sharing rules because here, so me and my boyfriend have our own bathroom, and then one of the roommates upstairs has their own bathroom, and downstairs they have their own toilet, but it's not a full bath. So they share a
Yeah.
shower up here, but they each have their own toilet, and like that that's it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that
I
makes
think that's
sense.
why I wasn't thinking.
Yeah.
That's so funny. But so yeah, so 850 and then 800. So that's about 1650 monthly from them. And then I calculated that out about a year, and that's around $19,800 a year. I'm able, like other people are paying off my
Totally. Yeah, I
mortgage.
know.
And
I don't have my calculator because I'm using my phone, but whatever, yeah, whatever 4,600 times 12 is what I think it's like 40,000 or something, but we make that just from the house we live in, which is pretty crazy. And we're super upfront with about it too. That's another, I'd say, like piece of advice that I have is we put it like, I don't put it in my description when I have a posting out, but when I interview someone like this girl I'm going to talk to tomorrow, I tell them that we're real estate investors. I tell them that we bought this house with the intention of renting it out. Like, I'm very clear that we are doing this. Not that I see them as a business transaction, but I want them to understand we are trying to make money from doing this. Because I
yeah,
don't want anyone to feel like they're just a number or anything like that. Like, I care about everyone that lives with us, obviously, but at the end of the day, it's a business. And I make sure that people know that so they don't feel weird after they move in. Plus, we own our rentals and like we're going to be talking about our short-term rentals. And like, I don't want people to feel like they got tricked into living with us. So we're just super upfront about it from the very beginning.
Yeah, 100%. Same here. And it actually like inspires my
Yeah.
roommates because now they want to go out and do it eventually too. They're not in a position themselves,
Yeah.
but seeing me do it, like they are so excited to do it themselves and eventually go buy a house and then fill it with roommates. That way they can be, you know, do the same thing and have other people help them pay down their mortgage or stuff. Because that's, again, that's even if like, I didn't put that towards my mortgage and I just ended up paying my own mortgage. That's still an extra $19,800 a year that I can now put towards something else, you know, if I wanted to, you know, could just put the money towards the mortgage.
Totally.
So
yeah. I mean, even if you had one
options.
roommate, you rented it for $900 in a year, that's $10,000. What kind of vacation would you take for $10,000? Like you could take even if you weren't using it, like if you paying your mortgage, fine, it's no big deal. Like, wouldn't you take a $10,000 vacation if someone said you had to have one roommate for a year? And some people wouldn't, and that's fine. But like, you can use the money for whatever you want. It doesn't have to be to like buy more real estate or do these other things. That's what I feel like people don't totally get either. It's like, you can do whatever you want with the money. If you want to buy a new car, go buy a new car. Like, don't hate it. Like, you can do whatever you want with the money. So I always try to like phrase it in vacation terms because I would take a $10,000 vacation.
Yeah, right. And that's the beautiful part is that, wow, I just had a brain fart. Something that I totally forgot what I was gonna say. I'm sorry. But okay, so we have a question here. He says, "How do you manage property tax increases in terms of tenant monthly and annual rents?"
That's Bobby. Yeah. We talked about it a little bit at the beginning. So when we get increases in those kind of things, like obviously we can't just turn around and immediately charge people more. What we personally do is when we offer to renew leases, we offer 6, 9, and 12 months, and then we do tiered prices based off of that. So the people who choose the year lease obviously pay the lease increase, and then we just stagger it down. But you have to raise rents a little bit. That's what we were just talking about. Like, I hate raising people's rents because you live with these people. So you're literally looking them in the eye when you're like, hey, give me more money. But, and we try not to for at least the first full year. We try not to raise any rents, but I mean, at some point you just have to, even if it's like $10 to $25 more per person, you just have to at some point to be able to cover the differences.
And I feel like too, like you said, if you're, as long as you're 100% open in your communication as to, you know, if they know why you're raising the rents too. It's like, it's not just I'm trying to make money off you. It's like, no, like property taxes increased or the PG&E bill went up or
like
at
this point I'm staying even. I'm just not losing money. I'm not trying to like get more money from you. And we're also like, we're very community based, like with our roommates. Like, we do a Christmas party every year. We do Secret Santa with each other. This year we did a Thanksgiving because not everyone has like somewhere to go home to. There's this one spot on our counter that's like the shared spot. It's like the street corner on a New York like apartment, and anything that goes there is up for grabs. And so like we'll make baked goods, or like if somebody gets something they, you know, a cookie that they didn't like and they have a whole box, they'll put it out. Like we are pretty like community based. So there's really not like, I don't think anyone feels like there's any ill will there.
I love that. I know we'll do a bachelor night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
and we're
movie nights, yeah, too. Not this last winter, but the winter before, or I guess the Halloween before, we like found a scary show online, and there was literally at least 5, I think maybe 6 of us that would watch it like every night together. Like, we do little things like that too, or have game nights and stuff like that. Not that we hang out all the time. Sometimes I'll go a month without hanging out with anybody, or even sometimes I don't see someone for that long. But we do, like, I can spend time with anyone that we bring in. We try to bring in people that would get along with each other.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I work 7 on 7 off right now at my W-2 job evenings. So my roommates, they mainly work Monday through Friday 8 to 5. So when I'm on a week on, I'm like, all right, I'll see you in a week.
What do you do for work again?
Just don't see him. I'm an ultrasound tech.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna guess medical just based on like your schedule.
Yeah, but I'm basically a part-time roommate. I only see them every other week.
Makes sense.
Bobby also wants to know any bad experiences evicted with any roommates.
I feel like I'm not gonna get into details because, like I said, these people I was friends with before. But yes, I have had to ask people to leave, and people have left on not good terms, but it was not a good fit before they moved in, and that like is on me. Everyone else that has left has been on good terms, but the people that I brought in being like, maybe we can make this work, it didn't work. Like we had somebody who had a small child that moved in with us, and we thought that that'd be fine. She's only here a couple days a week, and like that didn't work at all. No ill will towards the child. She was just a really sweet girl. The dad was an amazing dad, but having that many roommates with a small child around did not work for anybody involved. So like that, I like no animals, no kids, no couples too. Like the couple we live with, we knew before, but outside that, I would not have any other couples live with us because it's an extra person. Even if they're paying a little bit more in rent, it's not as much as like two whole people would pay. Any like type of like spats between the couple, like it's extra people that you don't need. So no kids, no animals, and no couples. And we've lived with all of those things. So yeah, we've had the gamut of experiences.
Oh my gosh. I have
Don't,
not experienced that yet.
don't
We'll
experience.
see. But I'm only about a year
Yeah.
and a
Well,
half in, so
we did it right. We did all of it right away. We had all of the bad experiences up front. So it's been a lot better since then. I tend to lean towards females now. I've actually really only had females. When I post my stuff, I am open to talking to males, but because it's a rent by the room situation, I have a lot more autonomy over that. It's not like a regular California long-term rental where I couldn't say like no couples or only females or whatever, but I'm able to choose
right.
that. And I just find that it's a little bit I don't know if safer is the right word, but like if one of the girls walks downstairs in her like pajama shirt with no bra, she doesn't feel like, because it's just my husband and then the other couple, like the fiance, and they're like very both respectful guys. Like something about mixing the female and males, like both single, both around the same age, just makes me a little nervous. Like what if a relationship starts, it's like a work relationship, like how many times has like that worked out? If
Yeah.
someone breaks up with someone or something bad happens, like then you have that drama in the house. So I have leaned towards having like all females, and I like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a beautiful thing about this, right? Is because we
Yes.
get to choose our comfort level. You don't, it's not like if you decide to rent by the room, you just have to go with whoever, applies. Like you get this, you deserve, or you get to choose like how your comfort level is, who you want living with you. I mean, there's just a lot more flexibility than like with a regular, like you said, long-term rental. And you have like a lot more power than you think, I feel like, especially over like what kind of rules and regulations what
Yeah.
you want to put in place. Because like I said, you run like more of a community household, and I'm like the same way.
Yeah.
We do things together, we communication, we have a group chat. I definitely recommend a group chat too, because that way if anyone has questions or forgets to put food away or something, we just text in the group chat, and it's just so easy and just keeps open communication. But you get to choose how involved you want to be with your roommates or your roommates with you, and you get to really choose what type of environment you want to live in with your
Very much so.
roommates.
Yeah, I say that with, so I'm a real estate agent and I have a lot of like buyers who want a house hack. Most buyers want to get a duplex and rent out the other side, which I understand because it gives you more privacy. But I personally don't love multifamily neighborhoods. I would way rather live in a single family neighborhood. If you've never seen a multifamily neighborhood, then you don't quite know yet, but just drive through one and you'll see what the difference is. And living in my single family house, I can choose my roommates, but living in a duplex, I can't choose my neighbors. I do not choose who lives around me at all. Whereas in my single family, I am willing to share my space because I can walk on my sidewalks. I live in a safe neighborhood. My appreciation's great. Like I got everything I wanted out of my house. I just have to have roommates, and for me that was the sacrifice I was willing to make. But not everyone's like that, but that's definitely something to think about. You get to choose who comes into your house. You don't have to accept the weirdo on Craigslist who is like sending you weird pictures of his arm. Like you don't have to accept that person.
Yeah, and it's good to know too, because you don't actually have to do it forever either. Like you said, you can decide how long you want your leases to be for. So maybe you want tenants, you want roommates this year, but if you don't next year, just be upfront that maybe you're not going to want to renew those leases. But I mean, also that depends on how well you get along with your your roommates, but it doesn't have to be a forever thing. And I think it's really good right now, especially with like interest rates and the housing prices. It's a great way to get
Yeah.
started, because if I had bought this house and I didn't get roommates, then I wouldn't have been
No.
able to save as much as I have to now start building the
Yeah.
ADU. And then once I have the ADU built and I'm able to rent that out, then I can pull out a home equity loan, because I just forced depreciation by putting on a ADU on this property. That not only now am I cash flowing this house, but now I can use HELOC to buy my next house
Yeah.
and do the
Nope.
same thing.
Totally agree. And to point out, like to what Ricardo just said, like fear of doing this with my 10-year-old son, I completely understand. I don't have kids, so I cannot speak from someone who has kids. I think if I had a kid, I would not be comfortable with having roommates at all. Personally, I don't know about having a stranger in my space when I have a child. That would make me really uncomfortable. So it's not to say that this is the perfect thing for anybody. It works great if you're young and don't have kids. Like it works great if you're single, or even if you're married. Like we've been married this whole time, so I completely understand that. I would say if you're that person and you still want to house hack with a single family, consider getting a house that has a master bedroom with a slider and blocking off the door from the rest of the house. And then that person can go in through the slider. They only have a bedroom and a bathroom, and you can put like a tiny kitchenette and do month to month and do more of like a temporary living situation. If you still wanted to house hack with a single family, but yeah, I get that. I don't know that I would want to have strangers in my house either.
Yeah, that makes sense. I do know my cousin, she has 2 kids and it's just her, and she ended up doing house hacking by the room through Furnished Finder, and she found a really like just nice physical therapist who was rarely
Yeah,
there, and she had a great experience. So like it's not for everyone, but you can be very picky in who you
totally.
choose, and like as long as you have a clear vision of who you feel comfortable with being around your kids, then it could potentially work. But obviously, that is, I don't have kids either, so I can't
Yeah.
100% speak, but I do know my cousin had a really good experience.
Yeah, or like mom groups. Obviously, I always run background checks and credit checks. I don't know if you did because your people you like knew them
Yeah.
before, but we run checks on every single person. So there are things that you can do, just like a normal lease. We make sure to run those on everybody, just to like kind of give that comfort too.
Absolutely. And I thought I saw another. Oh, Bobby wants to know: are there any California rules / ordinances on renting rooms?
When I looked, which I looked about a year and a half ago, no, because it's called like a border. Like you're choosing someone to live in your house, and so you have way more rights. I can say no dogs, like I can say no service animals, like even if it's a service animal, I can choose not to have those people. So you do have a lot more rights. I don't know about like squatting and evictions and stuff like that. If you have the same amount of rights, I just know that you have rights on who you choose to be in your house, whereas you can't with long-term rentals. You can get sued for discrimination. I mean, anyone could squat if they really wanted to. I don't know what the laws around that are, but you're probably going to have a lot less likely of a chance if it's somebody that you literally look in the eyes every single day. I know there's horror stories out there and I don't want to hear about them because that's scary. I know for sure.
I have one.
Oh yeah, that roommate show. The roommate
What?
show
Oh no,
on
I was
Netflix.
gonna say
Oh,
I have a story.
nope.
It was my aunt.
There's
I won't
no,
tell
there's a
you.
show on Netflix called Bad Roommates, and one of them was somebody who rented out one of their bedrooms, and the person squatted and like took over their house. And one of my roommates was watching it like a year and a half or maybe 2 years ago, and like, do you know about this? And I was like, yeah, don't do that though, please. And he was like, oh, I was just watching. I was like, don't watch that.
Oh my gosh! Now I want to watch it,
Bad
but also
Roommates.
I shouldn't.
No, thank you. Yeah, no, I don't need to know about that.
Oh my gosh, no, but that happened to my aunt. She had a squatter and it was a house hacking. But the thing is, she didn't do any background
Yeah.
checks. She didn't know. She just like she just wanted to rent a room and just rented it to someone on Craigslist. Like she didn't do any kind of background check or interview or anything. So I'm like, I think that was where the mistake was right
The
there.
person in the show did not do a background check either. So, I mean, it's not to say that background check's going to be perfect every time, but they can pull evictions. Oh, also, I always call references. I always call someone that they lived with before, even if it's their freaking dad. I mean, whatever, they could give me a fake number, but I still always call at least one reference. Make sure to look into their work, that it's a real job, like all of that stuff. So check references. Don't be afraid. It might take you an extra hour, but it's so worth it because you want to learn as much as possible about someone before they move in.
And if you're doing traveling professionals, you can also ask for their employer contract.
Nice. Yeah, I saw someone say that they have kids that are 21, 18, and 16 that they rent to traveling professionals. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great people out there that are just looking for a cheap spot to crash while they work. So traveling professionals can be really great, like Furnish Finder, even Airbnb. A lot of them use Airbnb too.
Yeah, the only downside of Furnished Finder is that there's no reviews.
Isn't
and
for the people?
No, I mean, very rarely have I seen any reviews posted on Furnished Finder. I actually talked to an investor who works for Furnished Finder, and she said that's something that they're gonna be implementing more this next coming year, and they're gonna be focused on getting more like reviews active. Like they don't push them through like Airbnb does, right? They don't really promote reviews that often, but I think that's the biggest downside of Furnished Finder. You can still look up that same address on Airbnb to see if there are reviews on there, and that's like what I'll do sometimes. But yeah, it's the only downside.
Yeah, I mean, and it's clunky. It's a clunky website too, so it's a little tough to use, but that can be a great spot.
They're working on it.
slowly but surely.
Yeah. And also, I just came across this page too, so I just wanted to just say it on here in case people want to check him out. There was this guy who takes co-living to like a whole nother level. I'm sure you've heard of him. Sam
Oh yeah,
Weaver.
I just scheduled. I'm going to chat with him in a couple weeks. Yeah.
Oh really? Oh, that's awesome.
I don't know.
To interview or
are you gonna I think just to connect. Yeah.
Okay. You guys should do a live so I can watch it.
I know. I'm excited to chat with him. I saw he has great content. I would love to post more content about our house hack, and I probably should. I don't because I'm friends with a lot of our roommates. Like our roommates, most of them follow us on here. They might watch this at some point. Mm-hmm. So I always feel weird about it because I just don't ever want them to feel like a product of like what I'm doing. So I don't talk about it very much. But I would like to post about it more, even if I was just posting about like labeling the shelves. I feel like it's so unsexy and boring and like it is like the most boring topic, but I know there's people that are so interested in it because I have people ask me questions. I know it would be helpful. I don't post a lot of that content. So if anyone's watching this and they want more house hacking content, you just need to tell me because I'll definitely post it. I definitely get like nervous about that one, but I have so much knowledge about it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you definitely should. Because I feel like everyone I talk to too, or like that they bring this up to, they always say, oh, I've thought about doing that. But they never act on it because there's just so much of the unknown. Yeah. And there's not a lot of people talking about it. Like Sam Weaver, like I don't know how long ago he started his Instagram, but I mean, he has really good content. But I just found his page yesterday. And I was looking through his videos and I'm like he listed off like 5 things I had to learn the hard way, and I'm like, wow, I wish I found this a year ago.
Yeah, were there Craig Curlop's like house hacking book is really good too. We read that before we started. We got a lot from them, and then there's a guy in Seattle that I'm blanking on right now that does house hacking to like a pretty extreme level too. He interviewed on Bigger Pockets, and we learned a lot of stuff from him too. But yeah, you can gather a ton of stuff from other people, and like we're always happy to chat with someone that's interested in doing it and like kind of give them a rundown. I've had people reach out to me on Bigger Pockets and like send me their advertisement and like let me kind of give them my opinion on it, because you attract the type of people or I guess the stuff that you put out there is going to attract the type of person. So if you write a 2-sentence with 1 picture posting, you're going to get the type of people that would apply to that. Like the more energy and like stuff you can put into your posting, the better like quality people you'll get. And that's what I found, because you haven't really had to find any new people, right? It's always been people you know. Yeah, so that's
gonna be all new ground when I get there.
I'm skilled at it because at this point we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think we've had 9 or 10 roommates, and I'm in the process of getting another new person. So I'm pretty good at it, and like I feel like it's a good success rate. Everyone's been a really good fit, so I'm very good at finding people.
Well, I'm definitely gonna reach out to you when I get to that.
Yeah, I can help people with that.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for doing this live with me. And is there anything else you wanted to add before we head out? We've hit our hour mark.
I know. I wonder if anyone's going to watch this all the way through. I mean, if anyone has any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Like, Cameron and I are both super open to sharing our knowledge. Obviously, I'm a real estate agent, so if you want to do any house hacking anywhere between like Sacramento all the way up to Auburn, I'm really good at finding houses that are good for it. I know what to look for with parking, with pantry, with shelving, with layout. Like, I'm really good at house hacking. I'm very, very good at it. And so I love to help people find homes that work for them, even if they want one roommate. So if you are looking to buy a house like that, like I would love to help you out with that. I mean, really any transaction. I do more than just like investing, but I can help out with that. And then if you're out of state, I'm always happy to just chat with someone too. And I actually know a lot of other house hacking realtors. So if you're in a market that's not in the Sacramento, Roseville, like California area, I might know someone that can help you out that literally house hacks themselves or like has house hacked in the past. So let me know. I'm pretty full of resources.
You're amazing.
Thanks.
You guys, if you're local, she also
That's
hosts
right.
her own real estate meetup once a month.
Yes, yeah, we have a Roseville investor meetup. That is the first Wednesday of every month at the Union. We have guest speakers every single month. It's really cool. Everywhere from people who do sober living, flipping, wholesaling. What are the houses where they take care of people medically? Do you know what I'm talking about? I'm totally
assisted living.
Assisted living. We have, I don't know if anyone in here follows Matt Atchison. He's a local in Sacramento that does like Tahoe hotels and stuff. He's actually speaking next month. We have guest speakers, and it's usually about 50 to 70 people. You can, if you don't have an investment, you can come. If you have a million investments, you can come. We started going to meetups when we still lived in our apartment before we owned anything. So don't be afraid to just come out and like meet people. It's a very friendly group of people. So if anyone wants that link as well, let me know. But we, yeah, meet at the first, at the Union, the first Wednesday of every month.
I love it. I missed Alaska, but I went to the one that you guys co-hosted in Sac, and that was
That's
fun.
where we met. Yeah,
That was really fun.
yeah, the one at Crawdads.
And
We
I also.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna just start talking. We won't be. Cameron and I won't be at the one in February because we're going to a short-term rental conference. But Mitch, who's our co-host, will be holding it down. So it's still happening. We just unfortunately won't be there because we'll be learning about our other main love interest, which is Airbnbs.
That's awesome. And what is your guys' next step right now, investment wise? Are you looking for another short-term rental, or are you gonna do another house hack?
We wanted, when we first bought our house hack, our plan was to buy a house hack every year and to move and do it. But like prices rose. So as everyone on here knows, prices rose so quickly that the numbers weren't penciling out for us. We would have to pay money to go live somewhere else, which is fine because our house would make money. But like I wanted to go into real estate full time. My husband wanted to go into real estate full time. It made more sense for us to stay put in a solid situation and be able to like have the reliable income and not pay a mortgage than to take that risk. So this year we would like to look for a house that we can build an ADU on or that already has an ADU and probably move into that house with more roommates, maybe not as many as we have now, but with a roommate or two there, and then have the ADU capable for like our family and friends to come visit or rent out on short-term rental. Because I'm from Oregon, like I said, and so my family and friends, like if they want to come visit me, they have to get a hotel or sleep on an air mattress in our bedroom. And that sucks. Like we are getting to the age where we would like to have somewhere for people to stay. So that would be the goal. And then we're always looking for short-term rentals. We were in contract twice last year, but it ended up not working out. But we are looking for more things like our big cabins, things that can sleep like 15 plus people, are unique, on acreage, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. If you guys haven't seen her short-term rental that she has right now, you go check it out on her Instagram.
It's pretty badass.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. It's a pain in the ass,
beautiful.
But it's badass.
Yeah. I was like, if I ever get a big group together, I definitely need to go stay there.
It's not bad. I mean, it's, $1,500 a night, but if you're splitting that between you and 19 other people, it's not bad at all.
Not bad at all. Oh my God. Need to find 19 people.
Yeah, you gotta find 19 friends. I know everyone says that when I post. I'm like, because I try to do the trendy ones, like, hey, you and 19 friends woke, POV, you and 19 friends woke up here because you booked it. I have some of my friends that'll comment and be like, I just need 19 friends first. I'm like, it's funny.
So true. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you again so much for coming on. And I posted her Instagram in the chat. If I know someone asked your Instagram, you can find her at househacking_masters. and she has the best
Thanks.
content. So,
and my last name's Masters, so I wasn't just being a douchebag when I did that. It was a good play on words. We weren't masters at the time.
I know when I saw that it was your last name, I was like, oh, that's such a cool last
Thanks.
name.
I thought of him. I think my husband will try to say that he thought of it, but I definitely thought of it. So
That's amazing. Well, it was great talking to you. This was so fun, and I will definitely be like following
yeah, it was
you.
great chatting with you too. Yeah, let me know whatever questions you have. And if anyone, like I said, anyone has questions, reach out. But thanks for your time, Miranda.
Thank you. Have a good
Bye.
night.